started.
We're good. All right. Let's see. So we'll be over here. Okay. We're just gonna do. I know this is just really simple, something you definitely are totally familiar with. We're gonna do an ah, just going up to the 5. I want to watch what happens with your breath coming from the abdominals, seeing where your power is down here. We talk a lot about, and something we're going to work on, is the release down here is probably the best way to put it, where you have, you know, the, how normal people would breathe. They would inhale in and exhale out, which we know as singers we do the complete opposite. But this is just, the official term for it is apagio, where you breathe out, let it in, let those ribs expand.
Yeah.
Obviously not like that, but just visualize. I'll stand up and show you. So you have, yeah, 2. So when you open that up for your onset, which that's a word you've heard in choir, which is right when you start, you have that open. So each time that you do that, as we do that simple ah that we're about to do something with your hands to kind of communicate that to yourself, where you have good. Do it, let's see, try it a little bit more relaxed, kind of let it happen. There we go. Yeah. Good. So you can kind of already feel that rib expansion. Yeah, kind of. Okay. So as we're doing that, here we go. Stop you there.
All right, let me do that again.
Okay,
I
that's all right.
focus on it.
Sorry. Yeah, I think that last one I saw a good breath. I'm kind of watching for alignment more than anything else right now. So let's take it back down. Yeah, let's give it a shot. So what I'm seeing, we'll kind of work more on this as time goes on. What I'm seeing, I'm hearing good breath. I'm hearing probably more depth, more volume, more warmth in your tone than I've probably ever heard. Just because it's really it's moving forward, and it's it's louder than I'm used to hearing from you, which is kind of why I was surprised at first get-go. I'm seeing a lot of chest movement. I'm seeing more of the breathing. I'm seeing it come from here, and I see you really focusing on having it come from here. I'm seeing some of it come from here a little bit, so we'll kind of work on that, and that's pretty normal when you're kind of working on a different way of breathing. So we're going to kind of open that up a little bit. We're going to try that again. I'm going to have you raise your sternum a little bit more at one point. Obviously, you know, I talked to my my 2 girls who I have through the academy about sternum up. So instead of here, you know, we're not, you know, cutting this off or anything, but you have just, you know, this nice raised sternum. You've heard before, like shoulder blades to the floor. That's kind of what that does when your sternum opens up. We'll kind of hit that a little bit more as we go on. So those hands again, where you have that onset, yeah. Good. Keep doing that for me? I'm gonna watch it a little more. Yeah, yeah. What does that feel like to you? I know that's kind of a vague question. Does that make you lightheaded at all?
Mm-hmm.
A little bit?
Yeah.
Because is it a bad lightheaded, or is it just well, I mean, there's no good lightheaded, but is it like a lightheaded, like I'm just not used to this kind of breathing, or lightheaded like this is not good?
It's fine. I'm fine. I'm not used to it.
It's a different way. It's a different way of breathing.
Yeah.
Okay.
I haven't breathed this deeply in a few days.
Ah, I see. Yeah, that makes sense. So just really, we're gonna do that again. We're gonna do that all again. Focus on. This is difficult when you're picking up on something new, but focus on it being really relaxed as you're going through. So it doesn't have to, which isn't really what you're doing, but it can be the smallest change that makes you notice what you're doing, but it doesn't have to be very big at all. That's kind of a jumble of English, but really it can be a small little thing, and that's all you have to focus on, but you think it's big, so you kind of have to make a really big change happen. I guess it's a good way to put it. So let's try that again. Really relax. Keep those hands going as you're doing it. Keep it relaxed. Don't push too much is really what I'm getting at. As we go through that, I'm hearing a really pretty consistent breath, which is great because I know that you're using this correctly, and we'll keep going through with that kind of as we go on. We have some chest movements still, so a little bit more of the breathing coming from the chest as opposed to here. So let's see what happens. Do some stuff with your shoulders real quick. We're going to kind of loosen your shoulders up a little bit before we use your sternum, before we actually employ your sternum here in a second. So really nice loose shoulders. You tense them up, you let them go. And then we have this nice open sternum. So we're going to do that same thing, not so many of them, not going up so many. And we're gonna try to raise that sternum. What we were just talking about with raising the sternum, what that does is if you have it kind of collapsed in, not that people really sing like this, but people kind of sit like this. They just kind of sit, and it's kind of comfortable in a weird kind of way because they're just kind of collapsing into themselves. Mm-hmm. Sometimes people kind of walk with less of a their sternum's pretty pointed downward as opposed to, and a lot of people would say, I walk with my chest up, and then they might look at themselves in a video and be like, oh, no, I don't. Mm-hmm. So we're going to think of that sternum being really raised. What that does, instead of letting everything fall on top of each other and collapse, it lets that open. We're still good? Okay. I'm making sure that I have video room. So raise that sternum up. Make sure you are relaxed up there. It's kind of difficult. That's kind of why we're doing some stuff with shoulders. So where you are right now, is that relaxed for you as far as a raised
my arms are
sternum
fine.
goes?
My shoulders are fine.
Okay, so you're nice and raised. We're gonna try that again. Do you feel this being a little bit more opened up a little bit, as opposed to here, where you have all this stuff collapsing on top of you.
Yeah.
And then you kind of raise this, and then your alignment's different. So yeah, that opens this up to do what it needs to do. So we're we're gonna do that again. We're gonna change up your vocal leads eventually, your warm up, and then but we'll get to that in a second. I want to stay on the same one so that we can kind of hit different things and not have to think about a new warm up. So we have that. Your sternum is nice and raised, really nice and lifted, and we're gonna just do it on that again. Here we go. Hone in on what your chest is doing. Good. What I noticed when you were standing like this, I hope it was like, it was a different feeling, but it was a comfortable feeling. Mm-hmm. It just felt different. What I saw from you is kind of the, from a marching band standpoint, the 10% thing, mm-hmm. where, you're holding your horn back here. It's like horns at 10% as opposed to, here, which is
level.
I guess, is that level? Is that what the word is?
0 degrees.
0, yeah, level. So horn level, it's like up at that 10%. So when you lifted this up, you're more at kind of 10% is kind of what it looked like. Mm-hmm. So
is that good?
Well, as far as I won't say it's not. I think it gives you kind of the feeling that you need. My concern for the future. As we work in the future is just that we don't have like a huge curvature in the back, to where it's not like I'm relying a lot on my back, and then that, creates all kinds of unnecessary tension here. So we're going to, based on what we just did with like your rib expansion, which is what the apogeo was, the kind of like what we just did.
So you want me to raise my sternum? Sorry.
You're good.
I'm sorry. You want me to raise my sternum without bending my back?
Right.
Okay.
That's the main. I mean, and
if I just hold my back,
hard.
I just stand like this, like normal. And I hold my back, and I go sternum up. That's how I sing.
Do something for me. Collapse really quick. Just kind of let it collapse. Okay. And pull it up and just kind of like, so that's where you are is normal. Roll your shoulders back, and that's kind of the certain. Now is that a comfortable feeling? Roll your shoulders back to where it's comfortable. Yeah, the raised sternum as opposed to like here. Like here's me with my chest dropped, kind of just kind of in a comfortable position. That's me with that raised sternum. It's kind of like when you're sitting in choir, and the director says, sit up tall, and you're sitting there and you're kind of like, okay, well, this is tall. I mean, I'm on the edge of my chair, my back is pretty well straight. But then she kind of looks over, it's like, what are you doing? So you open this up a little bit more. You roll your shoulders back, you make sure that alignment is really good with your back. And you raise that sternum up. So, as opposed to, this being really collapsed, and then you have this nice open sternum. Let's do with that in mind. We did your apogeo, your breathing here. We're going to do that with, instead of we're going to do, I was going to do za. Let's change it to z, just because we've used for a while now. We're going to do z. And you know how we talked about in your last lesson, the last time we talked about being really forward and getting and energizing the breath and taking it from here and getting that really forward, because with you, I feel like a lot of what you have going on is in the back, and we need to kind of bring more of that forward. We're gonna work with that with the breath. We're gonna do Z with the breath, with the apogeo down there. So we have like, do like, let's see right here. Z Z Z Z Z Z Z. You know, just from there. So you have, and I'm gonna give you a good breath for each time, so you can kind of reset and see what that feels like. So let's try it from there. You'll have, you know, Z Z Z Z Z. You'll have that time to kind of feel that apogeo, that release of the breath there, and then you know, tighten up, get engaged to use it. My bad. Try that again. I'm sorry, I meant to tell you to use your hands to do the hand thing, just so you can see what that feels like. Don't be afraid to pull your hands away from you too, just so you can kind of visually give yourself that expansion. Let me ask you with that one, how did that feel different than like any other vocal leash you've ever done in your life? Because it sounded a lot different, like just you doing warm-ups, doing vocal leases. That sounded different to me than probably anything else I've heard you just, you know, kind of pop off. So
I was focusing on the archipelago.
On the
apogeo.
On the apogeo. You came up with a word, and it's like.
It's kind of like a word.
It's kind of like a word. It's kind of like a word. I don't even know if it's a word. Yeah. Okay. But yeah, I heard, kind of going through that with that expansion there. I heard a much more connected breath all the way through. Z Z Z Z Z Z Z Z Z Z Z Z Z Z Z. Now what I'm already feeling is this start to tense up a little bit. I'm feeling some tension like up here. So I want to make sure that my shoulders are still down, still, you know, really loose and relaxed. Same thing with the sternum, because I'm starting to, and I guess it might be because I'm sitting, that I'm kind of relying on my sternum to help produce that sound, and that's not really what's supposed to happen. So that's something too. If you feel some like tightness in your chest, you're either having a heart attack, which at your age you're probably not.
Probably not.
And or your, you know, shoulders, you kind of just need to realign. So let's try that again. The Z, I'm gonna watch I'm gonna watch your sternum a little bit more closely this time.
Okay.
I think this is really going well. I'm gonna try to give you a little bit more, probably even a little bit more space to reset between each one, so you can really get a sense of what that feels like. We'll kind of work on that a little bit more. I think you're getting the idea with the breath. With your diaphragm down here, with more of the down here, does that feel like it's still open? Like kind of how we just like had the thing where we collapsed, and then we kind of pulled it back up, and this is open because your chest is no longer sitting on top of it. So does that feel more open now? Your diaphragm down there feels more open. Okay.
Yeah, it's easier to engage.
Okay, that's good. We're gonna go with that. We're gonna keep keep the ball rolling with that. I'm seeing some, because I think that engagement is really going well. The breath energy is going well all the way through that. You're really focusing hard and you know, kind of being my guinea pig, and I'm just watching and then like throwing things at you, and I'm trying not to throw too much at you at once, kind of building on things, but you want to be really careful as you build on things too, because you don't want to, you know, throw too much at one time. So what I'm seeing, and like I said, we'll work more on this, is your shoulders. We're doing some breathing with the shoulders a little bit. Not a whole lot. It's not like, you know, you're not using that shoulders to pull up that breath, but we are using the shoulders a little bit.
That's good, right? I'm just kidding.
Using the shoulders. So we'll focus more as we go through of shoulders coming down, or being a little bit more down, not to where, you know, you're holding them down. It's like, stay there so that I can breathe from here, but just that we're not using them as much. Let's see. Let me see. We're going to do the...
O Tannenbaum?
We might actually. I pulled this up because I have some things I wanted to work on with it, possibly. We're going to do that Z, or we're just going to speak it.
Okay.
And I'm gonna see what that looks like as you're breathing, as you're going on. Just so I can kind of watch your shoulders a little bit more and kind of check out what's going on. I'm seeing a good sternum. We're gonna kind of check on the shoulders. So let's see, do Z Z Z. Just do it in rhythm for me.
Z Z Z Z Z.
There you go.
Did you say 3 or 5?
Well, turn a little bit. We'll focus on that later. Okay, so don't look at me. Look at your eye level. There you go. Good. And you have a nice raised sternum. Z Z Z.
Z Z Z.
Okay. I am seeing considerably. We're just kind of giving this a go here. I'm seeing considerably less shoulder movement already, because you're forcing it downward. Okay. Lift up a little bit. Do this for me. Up. Now push them all the way down. Push them really far down, and then bring them back up slightly, and then just kind of let them hang naturally. There you go. So what are your shoulders doing now? They seem
relaxing.
They seem like they're in the spot that you always have them, and that's where I want them. It's going to be tricky to have your shoulders in the spot where they naturally are every day, while keeping, you know, in that relaxed spot, while keeping your sternum up. So let's see. Try that again. That Z Z Z.
Z Z Z.
Good. Do your hands again. Try this with me. Z Z Z.
Z Z Z.
Good. Okay.
Z Z Z.
There you go. I'm trying to give you a decent like rhythm to work with. Let's see. Pull back in. We're working on that onset. On feeling down here, we want that alignment really nice, and that's difficult to do. Let's see. Are we checking on it? Are we good? We're good. Okay. We're at what?
24 now.
Oh yeah. Really? Okay. I did not think we were that far. Cool. Okay. We're gonna do O Tannenbaum, obviously not in the German, but we're gonna go back to that ah.
Blatter.
Blätter. Yeah, that's the German. We're gonna do
sind deine Blätter?
Yes.
Du kannst
We're gonna do. We're gonna use that first line as an appoggio exercise. This is mainly your this session today is themed appoggio because we're working on that breath. Now we talked about your sternum a little bit. We kind of added trying to get those to work together. We're mainly focused on the breath. So let's do. Is F a good key?
That's fine.
It's good. Okay. Good. Okay.
I can do the German.
We're not going to though. We might, but we're not going to now. We might eventually. We're gonna need to do it on a syllable, not an ah, because that's gonna run us into each other. Let's do da, our favorite neutral syllable, from choir. Unless it's ping, I don't know. What are you?
Oh, I love ping.
You like ping? You wanna? I won't have you do it on ping. I might have you do it on ping a little bit later, but not at this moment.
I actually hate ping.
You hate? Oh, okay, all right.
Does anybody like ping?
Most of the
Do
tenors.
you like ping?
Most of the tenors, they enjoy ping because it's like right there in their sweet spot.
Ping.
Ping.
I don't like it.
Because their voice literally pings. Okay.
I'm a baritone though. Okay.
Check the time real quick just to make sure we have enough time to work this out. Where are we at?
26 3/4 minutes.
Okay, we have just enough time to do this. So still with the hands. Not, you know.
What do you want the hands to do? Do you want them to go out when I breathe and come in when I sing, or phrases, or what?
We're gonna have them when you first have that onset of breath. When you allow the oxygen to come into your body, that's your hands, you know, inviting that in, so you know what you're doing there. And then and anytime you have that onset of breath, that's when that's gonna happen. Does that make sense? Where you're breathing that in? Kind of anytime that you, and obviously it's not, you know, that big, it's relaxed, but we're kind of over exaggerating.
Do I breathe through it in anywhere in that phrase?
Yes, for now we're gonna do
Like
da da da, but you can see where those commas are, we're gonna do it there. I know those are really short, you know,
Okay.
you know, where normally it would be oh Christmas tree. I know that's, you know, weird, but we're gonna do just like that first line, breathe kind of wherever you need to, but we're focusing on that appoggio. So we're using that, we're using the arms to guide that breath.
Oh Christmas tree, how steadfast are your branches.
Okay, we're gonna take it back to da, I think.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, it's alright. No, it's okay.
You told me to do that. I forgot.
I was still listening for the breath. It's okay. I think that worked well. We're gonna do da. We might take it back to a Christmas tree. We don't really have time for that, but I'm just gonna do da just so I can hear that, hear and see that breath.
Da 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 da. Da 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 da.
Yeah. Still watching this a little bit, and I think I'll kind of watch it a little bit more as we go. Well, that's the thing, is it's not, and I know you know this, but it's not going to all happen in the course of a
lesson.
In the course of a lesson. Well, it's not even. I mean, really, just depending on vocal training, it's not even going to happen in the course of. You know, it really takes a while for that to click. I know for me, when there's something in lessons that I am exposed to for the first time, she's like, try this. Okay, and she'll say play with that. And when she says play with that, she means, like, work that into your technique.
Mm-hmm.
And, you you know, honestly, sometimes for my body, it can take like 6 months for something to click. You know, so we're gonna kind of keep working on that. You know, you're already really well accustomed to working with that Apogeo, kind of how that feels, and we're kind of gonna keep working on that a little bit more. It's hard to adopt, you know, but we'll kind of keep working on it. Okay, where are we at? So I know, so that we're not gonna overrun here.
We're good.
Okay. We will hit more of that a little bit later. We'll have some rep that we'll work on. We'll probably use this one because I think it's good for phrasing.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, the breath stuff is good, and we'll kind of work more on alignment as we go through. But other than that, we're good to go.
Great.
So hit the thing.
This has been a production of